Thank you and good evening and welcome to Bemidji as tonight the Moorhead Spuds and the Bemidji Lumberjacks renew their rivalry. And in the last several years, something added has been put into play, and that is the fact that there's a trophy to play for. It's the axe hoe, and quite simply, it is just that. On one end of it, there is an axe symbolizing the participation of Bemidji in the North Country and in the woods, and at the other end is a hoe, symbolizing that part of the culture that has grown up through Moorhead in dealing with potatoes and the sugar beets. And so that trophy has been manufactured and made, and it's something the kids play for.
Absolutely, and it's a neat deal, too. And right now it's in possession of Moorhead, and they'd really like to keep it. And, last week after what happened, they need to, kind of button things up. But I tell you what, you're playing Bemidji. It doesn't get any easier.
As we take a look at how the game was played last week, that is the game that Bemidji had and the game that Moorhead had, both very similar endings. Yes. Both teams had their lead. Both teams had the possibility of winning, only to see it fall short.
Yeah, and both teams are pretty darn hungry to right that a little bit. And I got to give Brainerd a lot of credit last week when it came time to really getting after it. They really did in the fourth quarter and put it away for them.
I think we saw Brainerd in the fourth quarter much like what we had expected to see from a team that normally is in that high ranking, but they've been struggling just a little bit so far to get the season underway.
Yeah, they have, and I tell you what, but they were physical up front, both in our offense and defensive line last week, and Moorhead really had problems moving the ball at times and also stopping the run at times.
There may be a couple of lineup changes that the Spuds will feature here tonight. Yep. We'll try to catch up on that as the game is about ready to get underway. It's been raining throughout most of the afternoon, but on a turf like this, it kind of drains off to the side, and we're about ready to go as the Spuds take on the Lumberjacks. And Moorhead will receive. Michael Hago is back deep and waiting. Carson Wendt is back deep and waiting as Bemidji gets ready for the kickoff. Isaac Stone is there to set up and get the play underway. Isaac Stone will spot it midway between the hash marks at the 40-yard line. And other than the fact that it had rained throughout most of the afternoon, pretty much ideal football conditions, especially when you consider this time of year.
Yep, and you know what? We can see.
No, you're not going to say it.
Yes, I'm going to. We can see beautiful Lake Bemidji.
On the shores of beautiful Lake Bemidji, we are underway as Carson Wendt came over, bumped up against Michael Hago, lost it, recovered it, brought it back. Flag goes down. Run continues. Does he have the speed? He does.
He does.
But he is not going to make this one good as the penalty flag comes flying down from behind on a breakaway speed from Carson Wendt.
Yeah, it's too bad. And first of all, a little miscommunication between the two deep backs, but unfortunately that's going to come back. They're going to get an illegal block in the back. He did a nice job of getting up to the wall, saw an opening, and he has got great speed. That is now the third time he's returned a kickoff for a touchdown, Larry, and only one of them's counted.
As a member of the 4x100 relay team in the state track competition, Carson Wendt was evident that he was going to have a chance once getting to the corner and to the edge and turning it upfield to make it good. The only one chasing him was kicker Isaac Stone. But Carson Wendt was able to get away only to see it be brought back with the penalty. And so the penalty bug is right away with them early, carried over from last week. Right
off the bat. But, one thing, the one penalty they need to clean up and what happened to them last week getting inside the 20-yard line was the jumping off side penalties on offense, and hopefully they can clean that up. Illegal block in the back, and it seems like that happens every other darn kickoff or punt return.
So with the ball spotted now at the 12-yard line, it's first down for the Spuds, and this is the first play from the line of scrimmage. And the handoff comes to Ben Herliska. He looks for some room. He struggles for some room across the 20 to the 25, and finally out of bounds here, the 27-yard line. That's a 15-yard gain for Ben Herliska.
Boy, I tell you what, they started right out with power, and they came around the corner, and Jace Friddle, the guard for the Spuds, did a nice job of cleaning up on the linebacker, Larry. And then I like the pad level that Herliska just had. He got his pad level down and made people bounce off him for extra yards.
Front line, Austin Schultz on one side. The other end is Jace Friddle, as you mentioned, Micah Kozid, and Colton Jaklovich, along with Jake Erdman finishing out that front five. Snap is back on first down, looking deep, going deep. It's up for grabs. It is there, and it is caught at the 40-yard line and out of bounds. Michael Haugo was there and in stride was able to capture it, and we're going to take that back and give the catch to D.J. Smith. Yes, he had good speed to get past the defense, and he was all alone and waiting.
Yep, and I tell you what a nice pitch and what a nice catch. He was just on a straight go, and the quarterback did a great job of throwing the ball outside where only he could catch it. He made a nice over-the-shoulder catch, got as many as he could, and that's a huge first down.
All the way across midfield and inside the 40, they spot a first down marker at the 36-yard line. Smith now wide near side. Haugo wide out to the far side. Little draw sprint on the near side as they work it off the far right side. Carson Wendt getting a chance now on his turn from the line of scrimmage and picked up good yardage.
Yeah, and went right back to power again. They ran power to their right side. They saw something there. What Bemidji's doing on defense, they're covering both guards in the center right now, and that's leaving a nice little gap. So when they block down, they've got a nice little seam, and he picked up 4 yards on that one.
As they spot it down at the 32-yard line, we are just underway from Bemidji. Moorhead had a touchdown brought back, and on the return they have marched upfield, now looking at second down and 6. Wide receiver in the near side, Smith. Haugo wide out far side, and Quaid taking a look to the near side may have a play call, and I think they will take time out here.
Yep.
There was a bit of a misunderstanding as they stepped up to the line of scrimmage. Gavin Quaid looked at head coach Kevin Feeney. Kevin Feeney took a timeout, and we've got a break. As play continues from Bemidji when we return, there's no scoring as we play here in the first quarter. Coming out of the timeout, Moorhead goes to a swing pass or a swing handoff rather on the near side on a little draw play. And Ben Herliska works his way down inside the 31-yard line. Moorhead now facing 3rd and 5. Vinny Moran was there to make the stop for Bemidji as the clock shows 10 minutes and we're winding it down here early on in the first quarter. Moorhead on the opening drive. Michael Haugo is wide near left side, and side tuck of him is Herliska as the snap is back, and we got all kinds of movement along that front line. And there again, the discipline that is required to put the ball in play missing here early on.
Yeah, and I think what they try to do is that they try to go to a little bit of a hurry-up snap that time, but when they did that, they also they traded their tight end and their slot to the left side, and those guys weren't set yet, so the quarterback's got to make sure everybody's set before he does that.
And with the penalty, goes back to the original line of scrimmage. It is 3rd down and 5. Smith is wide out far side. His catch put the Spuds in this position. Haugo on the near left side. Thielges is out the near side and looking up. Here's a rifled pass, and open is Thielges. He makes the catch. He twists out of a tackle and goes down near the 21-yard line. It should be enough, very much close to a first down.
Yep, and it was a nice little route combination. They sent Haugo deep on the post. Thielges ran a little inside route and then spun out and came back outside. The timing of the play was just perfect. He hit, even with the initial catch, he had a first down. So nice pitch and catch, nice football play, big first down.
Enough to move the chains as they near the red zone at the 21-yard line. Gavin Quaid takes a look to the right, takes a look to the near left side, and Haugo goes in motion. The play will come back on the near side. Oh, my, perfectly executed play for Carson Wendt as he goes out of bounds near the 11-yard line.
And nice
See where they mark it down. It looked like the
down.
tackle made by Seth Newby. And with that, the Chains move on. The Spuds have done a great job of moving the ball once they can figure out a way to put the ball in play.
Yeah, exactly. But again, nice. I liked how they came to that one. They put Haugo in motion, faked it to him, then ran power back to that side. That was a neat way of doing misdirection.
From the 11-yard line. Again down the line. Again following that offensive unit into the side the 5-yard line and stepping out of bounds. The play will stop at about the 1-yard line.
Yep.
So yardage coming in big chunks.
Big chunks again. Just ran power back to the left, and when the right guard pulled, he got up on the linebacker, and just a nice line surge by the left side of the Spuds line that time, and he's inside the 1. That was just a nice play.
And so we continue on with 8 minutes to go. Spuds have taken the opening drive all the way to the 1-yard line. Gavin Quaid takes the snap, hand off, and power off the left side and into the end zone for the touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown plunge, and the Spuds take the early lead.
And Moorhead just decided to rear their, put their ears back and just go straight ahead. A-lane blocking brought the slot back in on the linebacker, and they got a nice line surge at time, and when he got his shoulder pad leveled down, he wasn't going to be denied that one-yard plunge.
So Ben Herliska getting credit for the score. And now the point after try is on its way up, and the kick is good. And the Spuds score on the opening drive. The Spuds kick off when we return. 7:53 to go in the first quarter. It's the Spuds 7 and Bemidji nothing.
Pam is a small business owner. She is swamped. Pam knows she needs to advertise, but is overwhelmed by all the options. What if there was a way for Pam to have access to a team of media experts? What if this was at no extra cost and didn't require a contract? Meet Avenue Right. Save time, money, and get peace of mind that your advertising dollars are well spent.
Moorhead's kickoff to the 5-yard line is picked up and returned by the Lumberjacks. And a nice return for Bemidji. On the return, Will Zillman was able to find a bit of a nice blocking scheme right in front of him. He angled to the near side. And
like Moorhead, it's going
to come back.
Yep.
Exactly right. A penalty on the return will nullify that fine return and set play down near, I think they're marking the penalty off from the 10-yard line.
Yeah,
and they'll go inside the 15.
Yep, to about the 10.
And to the 10-yard line exactly, as where it will be spotted. So another big hole for the offensive unit, this time for Bemidji.
Yes, absolutely. And boy, it was a nice high kickoff, more that good coverage, and the first guy down got blocked in the back, and you got to call that.
Peyton Neto is the quarterback, and on his first play, he pitches out. Spuds try to catch up to it. He slips loose, and it's on his way. Still on his skates and moving his way upfield. Nice play and nice run by Quentin Young at 6'3" and 190 and very elusive. Young picks up a Bemidji first down.
Yeah, and something Moorhead hasn't seen in excuse me, in the first 2 ball games. You're going to see a lot of read option stuff, and that time they ran it just the way you're supposed to. He pulled the dive, took it out to the defensive end, pitched it, and they had it sealed off pretty good, and they picked up a first down.
Moorhead's front line, Javid Carlson with Elenius Davis, A.B. Jala, and Ron Adu. In motion. Handoff comes back on the near side on a reverse, and the Spuds are there to meet it and bring it down. Play was not well developed along the way, but finally the Spuds put a stop to it. And on that play, one of the newcomers to the Spuds lineup for this game, Cade Almendinger, just a sophomore at 165, is getting a start at a linebacking spot.
Yeah, he's playing that outside linebacker spot, and that time they tried to run a little inside reverse off of that, and he actually fumbled the handoff, and Linus Davis is right there. I'd have heard him falling on the ball, too.
In a hurry. Moorhead has grabbed the early 7-0 lead. Bemidji now in their first possession. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the near side, back to pass and throwing it as high, and it is deflected out. Intended for Quentin Young, but deflected out of play to the near side. And again, it was Almendinger who was close in on the play.
Yeah, and nice job by Cade, too, that time. They tried to run an out route, and he was underneath that. I'm sorry, they ran an out route, and he got underneath that out route, made him throw the ball a little high. And when he did that, Moorhead's corner almost picked out off at the same time.
Moorhead likes to think they're a very physical, strong, tough team. Now faced with the possibility of giving up a first down to the Lumberjacks as they face third and somewhat long back to pass and looking upfield. And then this one is deflected away, waiting to see, and it is clean. It is a hit on the intended receiver, and it's knocked away. And it brings up a stop in the play now, and Bemidji will be forced to kick.
Nice job by the secondary. They just had a one-man route where he ran a post to corners with him. The safety stayed back, and the other safety came over, and he's lucky that didn't get picked off. And the bang-bang play as far as when the ball got there, but nice job by the secondary.
Jacob Furman on to punt, standing here near the 11-yard line. Nice snap, nice kick, wobbly spiral, bouncing at the 45, and then picked up. And Thielges on the return. He gets to the outside, turns the corner at midfield, stiff-arming his way loose. Boy, he's a tough nut to bring down. He just will not go down. And finally wrestled down from behind at the 42-yard line in Bemidji territory.
You know, it's not very often, Larry, that you see a wide receiver type person that goes out and throws a stiff arm, but he not only threw one stiff arm, he threw 2 stiff arms and pushed people's heads back to get those extra yards. That's a nice job. That's a sudden change on the punt return.
With a 7-0 lead in place, the Spuds now have first down at the Bemidji 45-yard line on the exchange. Clock will start with 6:08 to go. David Carlson goes in motion, sets up as a tight end now on the far side. Then the play comes back by Haugo, set to block, and the play on the reverse to Ben Herlischka. And he is brought down. And there is a penalty flag trailing the play. And I suspect we'll have a holding situation here.
Yeah, there's a situation where they, again, ran that short motion to Michael Haugo, and that brought the outside linebacker back out of the way, and then they ran power back their way. And that time, David Carlson, when he came around the corner, he basically wrapped up the outside linebacker, which is too bad because that was a pretty good run.
A big penalty takes it to the opposite side of midfield, and they spot it down at their own 45-yard line. Moorhead going right to left, now facing 1st and 20. Let's see what Gavin Quaid has in mind. We've already seen he can throw deep. All alone in the backfield, rolling near side and looking. Leans back, throws. He's got his man, Thielges. He's wide open at the 45, inside the 40, and down. And Thielges is becoming the go-to receiver.
He sure has been the last 3 weeks. And again, he just ran an out route. They didn't even have him covered. He's playing inside twin Larry. He ran an out route, and Michael Haugo ran a post, and he had all kinds of room. And I thought he was going to get the first down, but he's just going to be about 4 yards short. But again, nice pitch and catch. The timing's just perfect on it.
16-yard gain on the play down to the 32-yard line. Haugo leaves the huddle, goes wide out far right side. Carson went, lines up near side. As they take a look, Gavin Quaid. Here's a quick forward pitch, and Carson Went just did get the ball and sidesteps one, but there'll be another penalty flag here that will stop that play. Well, you saw how they liked that reverse to the back coming around, and the pitch was there barely, the turn at the corner barely, and then the penalty flag, no doubt.
That's too bad, too, because he made 2 guys miss and picked up about 12 yards on the play, and it's going to come back with another holding call from that spot, so that's just too bad.
Whole set of new players checking in now for Moorhead as they set up this play on, let's see, they've marked the penalty back now to the 46-yard line. And again, back to the original line of scrimmage, and they'll replay second down.
Isn't that something?
Dawson Garrett's is checked in. He is lined up as Haugo comes near side. Thiel just inside of him. Wide receiver far right side as Gavin Quaid takes a look on 2nd and 12. to pass, looking upfield. Up and over the top.
Nope.
He's got his man. No, it was just over the outstretched hands of DJ Smith. He wants the flag, but it was not to come. And so the pass just overthrown goes incomplete, and it'll be third down.
And, that's a good shot they just took. He's got one-on-one coverage and he's got about a 4, 5, 6-inch height advantage on the corner. The corner's playing press coverage. And instead of throwing the ball outside, he threw it upfield. Instead of dropping it over his shoulder, you just got to learn how to get that touch in there just a little bit better, Larry, and drop it over his shoulder. Because it was there, and you've got a nice mismatch there.
Crucial play for Moorhead on 3rd and 12 at the Bemidji 47-yard line. Receiver right, receiver near side, rolling near side and looking. Gavin Quaid leans and throws. He's got his man, but no, it came up just short. Good defensive play by Fisher. Gansky got in the way, deflected it, and it came away from the intended receiver. And that brings us back out to the line of scrimmage with a penalty flag on the turf.
I don't know what that one is, but that's too bad. I mean, great coverage by Gansky. He came underneath that again. They ran that outside. They ran that inside-out route where he starts from the inside and runs an out route. And it's been there that time. He played that perfectly and got a hand on it and knocked it away.
After consultation on the penalty flag, it has been picked up. There will be no penalty assessed, and it becomes 4th down. So Moorhead will take a look. What do they decide to do? Will they punt, which would seem to be the call here, or will Drayden Prosby become a factor in trying to move the ball up forward? Or will it go on a fake step up and step back? And there they got 5 yards anyway.
Yep.
They got 5 yards on a step forward. Bemidji a little bit aggressive, a little bit in a hurry as Jaden Schmierbeck was right there in the encroachment zone. But Moorhead needing 12 yards to move the chains. Got 5 yards on that one penalty at the 41-yard line. And we're seeing a lot of plays here on both sides of the line of scrimmage that the coaches are going to be wondering, what do we have to do?
Yeah, what do we got to do? But 4th and 7's easier than 4th and 12, that's for darn sure. But another situation where Moorhead has a situation where they can quick kick it here too.
And we take a look as Gavin Quaid takes the snap. He rolls near side and looks.
Run it.
He's going to go up and over the top. He's got a man in the end zone, and the catch there, no, it was just over the outstretched arms. I wonder.
Michael.
Was that Haugo?
Yes, sir.
The intended receiver, Michael Haugo, in the end zone. Just threw his arms incomplete, and the ball turned over on downs, and Bemidji will have 1st down.
That's too bad. And they could have. He had the opportunity. He probably could have run for 1st down there, but he saw that Michael had, one-on-one coverage, and he was open. But just before he threw the ball, Michael slowed down. I think he thought he was running out of real estate there, and I think he thought he was already in the end zone. He wasn't, so the ball became overthrown by just about 6 inches.
Moorhead with a 7-0 lead. Bemidji now has the football. Here's a play to the near side as Neto.
There you go.
He got wrapped up. There were 4 different Spud defenders in there to make the play. And leading the way, Kate Almendinger was there for sure. And Herlishka was in a factor on it, Ron Addo. Yep. And they all were a big, big reason why that play was stopped for minus yardage.
Yep, and a nice job by the Spuds, too, as far as stretching that out. They went dive option, and the quarterback had to keep it, and they just slow played it and dropped them for a loss.
Here's a pitch out on the far side for Ethan Bean. He crosses the 45 up to midfield. And let's see where they spot it down. If it's at the 49, it isn't quite enough. As they find a spot to put the ball down, it is at the 49-yard line. So it is 3rd down and 2. 3rd down and 2 with 4:20 to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and that time Bemidji decided to heck with the option. They just went to a quick pitch that time and got him outside, and Moorhead was just outgunned a little bit on the outside linebacker spot.
Shotgun formation, flags down. Another penalty, false start, Bemidji. And here again, we're seeing the discipline part of the football game is being misrepresented by both teams here tonight. A lot of unusual and untimely penalties.
We all got to get on the same page, and we all got to get the snap count. And again, they tried to go on a quick snap count, had a person in motion, but then they ended up having a second person in motion. So they need to slow down a little bit.
That brings up 3rd down and 7. Ball resting now at the 44-yard line. Line to gain is the Moorhead 49-yard line. A change in the backfield of Ethan Bean comes near side to pass. It is there. He makes the catch. It is Ethan Bean. He hauls it in.
Wow.
More than enough for the
Wow.
first down at the Moorhead 44-yard line. First down, Bemidji.
What a catch, and I tell you what, a nice throw too. He just ran a little slant, not a slant route, a hash mark route that time, and got behind the linebacker in front of safety. Quarterback threw just a little bit outside, and he made a great diving catch, Larry. That was nice.
Ethan Bean lined up, and he had just his motion or the way he looked, it looked like he was going to be the player in that play, and he was, and it's first down. Here is a look at the Lumberjacks as they drive into the lake. Off to the far side, the pitch goes to Bean. Second play in a row, and he strings the play along. He struggles across the 40 all the way near the 36-yard line. Let's mark him down at the 37, and from there it'll be second down after Bean picks up 7 yards.
Yep, they ran the triple option to their left, only that time they brought a guy in motion. He became the dive key, pulled it, and then got the pitch, and once he got the pitch, there was nobody outside to stop him, and then he showed some little bit of grit breaking some tackles and getting extra yards.
3:41 remaining here in the first quarter. Moorhead with a 7-0 lead. We've had exchange of possessions, and Bemidji now driving. With the ball in Spud's territory, wide receiver left, wide receiver near right side. Peyton Neto back to pass in the pocket and looking. He rifles one and another catch, and then it slipped through, incomplete. He had it all wrapped up and tucked away. But
Jaden Griffin
got in the way of the reception by Young, and it slipped out of his grasp, and it's third down.
And nice timing by Jaden, too. The ball was there, timing was there, and he came through, and what they call the old-fashioned club and rake. He wrapped and then brought the club down, and he knocked that out of his hands.
Crucial play for the Lumberjacks. Bean in motion, takes the pitch. He looks at the blockers and slips ahead. He's very close to the first down. He may have picked it up, and they're moving the chains. Ethan Bean on the carry and a Lumberjack first down.
And again, nice play. They're finding a little cushion out on the outside, where he just did a reverse pivot like he was going to run the option and just tossed it to him. They have two backs out there blocking for him, so one back turns in on the outside linebacker, and that's where they were able to get outside. Outside backers got to do a little bit better job of getting outside and turn that back in.
New set of downs at the Moorhead 31-yard line. Man in motion to the near side. Then Neto follows the play in. He gets good yardage inside the 25. Bemidji's offensive line against those big boys that Moorhead puts out on the field is doing the job. They're creating some room and some running room and picking up good yardage. Now at the 25-yard line, it's second down.
And that time they ran a little bit different thing where they faked the dive to the back, and then the back becomes the blocking back, and the quarterback followed him right up the hole. And that's tough on your defensive lineman because they think that he's coming out, like he's going to pitch it, and all of a sudden he turns up right behind the back, and that lead back got on the linebacker that time.
Breaking huddle with 9 seconds to put the ball in play. Man in motion near side, inside counter, slipped as he made the turn. He was looking for some room, and as he made the turn, Jack McCready slipped and fell down, and Jack McCready will get minus yardage and bring the play back. That's a loss of about 3.
Yeah, and that's too bad because there was a hole there, and he planted it on his inside foot, and with this wet turf, he just slid out from underneath him again. They ran a little counter play back to left, and the hole was there, and he saw it. Unfortunately, he just didn't quite plant the foot right.
1:48 remaining. First quarter action. Moorhead leading 7-0. Bemidji is on the drive. Wide receiver wide left side. We got no penalty flag down. I thought I saw 2 men in motion. It's Ethan Bean on the way into the end zone. A 26-yard run by Ethan Bean. Boy, he broke away.
Dane Jorgensen, number 12.
And there. The Lumberjacks now a point after try from tying.
And boy, did he show some speed, Larry, when he got that pitch. They ran the toss play again, had the back out in front of him. They split the secondary, and he saw the end zone and he had another gear there, didn't he?
He got there in a hurry.
Yes, he did.
Now a late arrival to make it 11 players on as they wait for the snap to come back. It's put in place by Jack Solom, and the kick is up, and the kick is good, and the Lumberjacks have stormed their way to tie with 1:32 to go here in the first quarter. It's Moorhead 7, Bemidji 7.
We are The Breakdown. For almost 2 decades, we've published the most comprehensive yearbooks on Minnesota high school sports and run the best in-season and off-season events. We cover every corner of the state. We are The Breakdown.
Boss DXT snowplows are tough to beat. Featuring dual trip tech, flared wings, and optional D-force for improved scraping and back-dragging performance. Choose from 3 different sizes in steel, stainless steel, and poly. The Boss DXT is built to restore order.
Your home for Boss snowplows is Bert's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Well, a drive that wasn't exactly perfect or picture perfect.
No.
It became effective nonetheless, especially capped off with Ethan Bean being involved in a first down reception and then a touchdown run.
And he showed great speed, too.
Here's the Bemidji kickoff. This one is going inside the 10, gathered in there. Out to the 15 and 20. From there, Carson tried to work his way to the outside, but got wrapped up and was brought down. Nice return by Wendt, however. Good field position now for Moorhead. Game tied at 7. They'll put this ball in play with 1:24 remaining in the first quarter. And so we'll see how the Spuds, what kind of things the Spuds have learned from this first quarter as they head out for their third possession, as Michael Haugo is the last to report into the huddle. He'll head out far side. DJ Smith comes near side. 1:24 remaining. First quarter action, Moorhead with the lake behind them. Here's the look in and the snap out of the shotgun formation. Back to pass. He rifles when he's got Haugo open. He makes a catch and up near the 35-yard line. And we'll see where he stepped out. It might be that he's just short. His forward motion carried him enough, but I think his back leg spotted him out at the 33, and that's where it'll be. Second down and about 3 yards needed now for the Spuds' first down.
And just a little timing route again that time. He just ran a 5-yard out, and when he came out his break, the ball was in the air. Gave him plenty of time to catch the ball and then use that big frame of his to get a few extra yards.
See what the Spuds have in mind. The virtually no wind. That is not a factor here tonight. Temperatures are perfect. Yet even in spite of the rain that fell early and all afternoon, that has not affected play here so far. And with that, a timeout is taken. The Spuds, their second used, and we've got a break with 1:18 remaining in the first quarter. It's Moorhead 7 and Bemidji 7. Jacob Garamoni is alive and well in studio. Gavin Quaid is alive and well on the field for the Spuds as they face second down and 3. Wide receivers to the right, 2 to the near side. Here's a quick pass. It was a bit underthrown, but Thielges was able to get underneath it, haul it in, and make the catch, his second reception of the night.
Yep, he was the middle guy at the trip set that time. He just ran a 5-yard hitch route that backed up that strong safety that's covering him. And again, the timing is good. The ball is a little low, but you know what? He got the first down.
Right at the 37-yard line. We go to the final minute of the first quarter. Spud center receiver wide out far side. Michael Hago checking with the first down marker on the near side as Bemidji changes up their defensive set. And the play comes near side. Nice read by Carson Wendt to make his way across the 40-yard line. It turned into a 3-yard gain, and it looked like that was going to be stopped for no gain, but he made 3.
And did a nice job of making that linebacker miss, Larry. And when the guard pulled and turned up, the linebacker snuck underneath the guard, and he couldn't get a piece of him. But somehow he made a miss and picked up the extra yards that he needed. And, that should have been a no gain. He got about 3 or 4 out of it.
Smith goes wide far side. In the backfield, quarterback Gavin Quaid. Michael Haugo goes in motion, and the handoff goes to Carson Wendt. He's dragged down from behind, trying to strip the ball away, but Wendt hangs on, and that makes us go to the second quarter as play has retired, and we hear the whistle. 1 quarter of play has been played. Here in Bemidji, it's the Spuds 7 and the Lumberjacks 7.
Before I became a real boy, life was easy. I just sat there doing sandwich stuff. But being alive is so hard. So if you don't want to get up to get a sandwich, you shouldn't have to.
One quarter put away, rather exciting in some ways.
Yep.
First quarter of play, we saw the Spuds on a big reception to Owen Thielges and a run by Owen Thielges. We saw a big return by Carson Wendt. We saw a lot of penalties that factored into the play. The fact that it is only a 7-7 game.
Absolutely, and they see if they can clean that up now.
Moorhead now going left to right as we start the second quarter. Wide receiver left. Michael Haugo joins him now as he heads over in motion. Back to pass. Time to throw, rifles it. He's got Garrett's open and hauls it in at the 45-yard line. Oh, my. A perfectly thrown pass. Garrett's went right down and got it. And with that, a first down chain.
And I tell you, that was a nice play. He was lined up on the right side. There were twins to the left. The twins just ran out routes, and the free safety cheated over that way. And when he ran, he just ran a little 10-yard in route, and the timing again was perfect. And there was no linebackers or anybody there, and did a nice job of catching the ball and getting a big first down.
Spuds have moved it across midfield into Bemidji territory. Just underway, second quarter with us all tied up. Out of the shotgun formation, the snap is back. Inside handoff, there it is. Nice wall opening up to the near side and running still. Carson Wendt lowers his shoulder and goes all the way to the 20-yard line. Spuds are in the red zone on a 30-yard run by Carson Wendt.
Nice play, I tell you. Micah Kozad pulled that time, Larry, from his guard spot, and saw that the linebacker tried to go inside of him and ended up going downfield and getting the safety, and that just opened it up. And then a great job by Thiel just downfield getting him the extra yards.
So the Spuds are threatening with the game tied at 7. Player changes side of the line of scrimmage, near side of the line, and that will bring us a whistle. And I wonder again if the Spuds, well, they still had 10 seconds to put the ball in play.
Bemidji called a timeout.
And Bemidji got the timeout call, so we'll break with 11:01 still to play first half. It's Moorhead 7, Bemidji 7. After the Bemidji timeout, back on the field to play. The Spuds drive has worked their way down to the 20-yard line. Facing a first down situation, it's Gavin Quaid on the handoff. The hole is open. Oh, my, that offensive line. It was a wide open truck opening hole, and the Spuds pick up another first down.
And Ben did a good job of reading that, too. He started out a little wide, and they had sealed it down, so he snuck in right behind Moorhead's Austin Schultz, which is not a bad spot to sneak in behind. And almost, I thought he was going to sneak in the end zone, but a nice hole.
He was stopped short of the first down also. It's just an 8-yard gain, so 2nd and 2, line to gain the 10. Again, the rotation of players from one side to the other. Spuds now set. Bemidji has readjusted their defense, and the play comes to the near side, tiptoeing his way at the 10-yard line. And from here, it would appear as they spot it inside the 10 to move the chains.
Again, just ran power to the right side, and Went did a nice job of. He started it out like he's going to duck inside, then bounced it back outside, setting up his blocks a little bit, and he got 4 yards, and that's all they needed.
1st and goal. Moorhead leading 7-7, threatening with play early in the second quarter. DJ Smith is in a play, and he will head out far side. Michael Haugo alone on the near side as Gavin Quaid with his running back right behind him waiting. The snap is there. The handoff is there, Ben Herliska. And this time he is in for the touchdown. A 10-yard run by Ben Herliska.
And nothing fancy that time, just a reverse handoff, and they ran that wham play where they bring the slot back or whatever you want, or wing back actually, on that side, back inside on the linebacker, and then he just got such a great pad level that he was just breaking arm tackles, and nice drive. I tell you what, that started on their own 26 that time.
So now the point after try. Owen Thiel just now late in arrival for this.
And he's important.
And he's the holder.
He's important.
Snap it back. Nobody there. Bad things will happen. And the snap is back and the kick is up. Revar makes it good. 9:46 to go first half. Action from Bemidji. It's Moorhead 14 and Bemidji 7. Revar Kakis is a perfect 2 for 2 tonight in point after tries, and the Spuds lead at 14-7. Here's the ensuing kickoff, and it's taken on the run. I think he slid down, had his knee on the ground as he made the catch. He was ready to head upfield for a lot more yardage, but down inside the 20, and it'll be first down, Bemidji.
I tell you, that was a nice slide catch, too. He slid on his knees and then popped right back up, but he was down.
Well, see, now, if that was a center fielder, he'd still be able to continue play, but this is football, and you're down.
And we're in high school, and you're down.
At the 19-yard line, 9:44 to go. Again, that Moorhead score capped off a long drive with a 10-yard run by Ben Herliska. Kakis with the extra point, 14-7. The count. And Bemidji now begins this drive. Both teams have had long fields to negotiate here in the first half. Again, the run. Nice hole opened up across the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. Let's see where they spot him down. But the right side of Bemidji's line, Chase Hendricks is at center, Tom Paquette and Charlie Mouse on the right side of that offensive unit. Riley Branson, Delson Wind on the other side, along with tight end Lucas Karen. The Spuds defensively, Javid Carlson, Ron Addo, Elenius Davis, A.B. Jala are the front four. Ben Erliska, Drayden Prosby, Dawson Garrett's, Cade Allmendinger will all see duty. There's one other player we haven't been able to catch up on him yet. Rain Battle, that's correct. Thank you. Jade Griffin and the Oliver Judd in the secondary with Max Stenjum and Carson Wendt. And again, off the right side of their line, Bemidji likes that. Play there, Seth Newby, or Solom rather, on the carry.
And that's that counter they ran again where he's lined up. You could almost call it a reverse bone. They got a fullback and they have two slot backs, but they used to call it the reverse bone. He comes in short motion and they just run a quick sweep to the right side, and he got what he could, and he got a first down out of it.
As Bemidji breaks huddle, 8:40, clock is running. Outside the 30-yard line at their own end of the field, and another stoppage of play. I wonder.
Timeout, Bemidji.
I think Bemidji is using their second timeout, and something was not developing the way they wanted.
They were almost out of time.
They had just 3 seconds left on the play clock, and so they will realign and regroup, and we will return with play here in the first half. It's Moorhead 14, Bemidji 7. Ethan Bean on the run for Bemidji, out to about the 32, closing in on the 33-yard line. Tonight's game is a presentation granted by Minnesota State High School League. 8:25 and second down and 8 for the Lumberjacks. Line to gain is their own 41-yard line.
I tell you what,
a quick visit on the far side by Peyton Neto, and he's ready to go.
Yep.
Out of the huddle, Quentin Young comes wide near side. Ethan Bean, the key to the offense. Handoff in the backfield, pulled away, and the quarterback, Peyton Neto, comes up with the run. Nice developing play along the far side. Some positive yards to bring up third down now from the 36.
That time, again, instead of running dive option, he faked the dive to the up back or the fullback, and then got right in his back pocket and followed him up, and he was able to get on that the fullback was able to get up on that outside linebacker, and that made some nice running room for the quarterback, and he did a nice job of getting the yards he needed.
This is a play that Bemidji would need to convert here, facing third down and 3 at their own 39-yard line in play here in the first half. Down the line, here's a backward pitch and a nice run by Quentin Young.
Oh,
he's going to go. On the reverse, it's Quentin Young. How big was that play? It was good for 6 and no penalty on the field.
Wow.
A 62-yard run by the Lumberjacks to pull within 1.
What a time to pull out the reverse. They came like they were going to run speed option to their left. The receiver came back. He pitched the ball between the fullback and the tailback. And Moorhead had already gotten into their mode that they were going to be in a chase and had to put on their brakes, turn around, and he showed good speed. And nobody they weren't going to get him. Even they didn't have the right angle. What a great play call!
Jacob Stanek on for the point after. The snap is back and it's dropped, and Stanek falls on top of it. We'll see how big that play is by the end of tonight, as it remains now a 1-point game with 7:27 to go in the first half. It's now Moorhead 14 and Bemidji 13. A little reverse for Quentin Young, and he goes the distance, 62 yards. But the point after try missed. It never got off the ground, and it's a 1-point game now at 14-13.
Whoa.
That one was grabbed. Oh, my, what hands we saw. And here is the run by Carson Wentz. He reached up, and he actually jumped up to take a line drive kick and grabbed it away, and it quickly turned upfield. He wasn't more than one stride away, and he was all the way gone.
But I thought that was going to knock him over with such a line drive, and all of a sudden he just stuck his hands up. But again, nice job. He has just a great ability to find that seam, doesn't he? And that ended up being about a 40-yard return because he caught that on about the 10-yard line and puts it out 34-yard return. That's a nice return.
Good field position for the Spuds, leading by 1. As they run the play, it comes near side. Carson Wentz had his own man in front of him and couldn't make him move and couldn't get around him, and that forced him to try to step outside. And Newby comes up with a stop, lost yardage on the play.
Yep, they kind of run that little sweeper power to their right side. Micah Kozad from his guard spot pulled, decided not to block the inside, and when he did that, he actually got into Carson's way a little bit. Got in the way and ended up for no gain. He just kind of bounced him outside instead of making the decision to get upfield and make a lane for him.
So on this play, he did get back to the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd and 10. 3 receivers in the formation. Running back in the backfield with quarterback Gavin Quaid.
Nope.
He got away barely. Heads to the sideline and steps out of bounds with a penalty flag trailing the play. And I'm guessing we'll have holding.
It's going to be a block in the back.
Or a block in the back. And we can tell from body language that DJ Smith knew right away.
He knew. And they're going to call holding, but either way it was there. But he pushed him to the ground, and you can't do that when in the back. He started up front, but he kind of pulled him around. So either way, he's going to get nailed. And
another big one.
You know that they're going to take that back because he got positive yards on the scramble. So
to the 32-yard line. A penalty marked at 15 yards from the spot. So it's 2nd now and 25.
You know, it's amazing how Coach Feeney saw that too and counseled him on that one too a little bit.
Wide receivers to the left side now for Gavin Quaid. Joining him is Michael Haugo. Back to pass and looking. He's going up over the top. Never had a chance.
Nope.
As it was overthrown defensively. Fisher Gansky was there for Bemidji. The play intended there for the Spuds overthrown.
Yeah, and I don't think that was miscommunication, right? But that time he looked like he was running an out route, and he threw it to the corner route a little bit and overthrew him. I think there was just miscommunication what they're supposed to run.
And with that, 6-11 now showing. Dawson Garrett comes into the lineup. DJ Smith will go wide out far side. Michael Hago on the near side along with Owen Tilges. The formation loaded with receivers. Hago goes in motion. He'll set up now on the far side with the play dumped underneath on the screen. Set up a nice opening up. Herliska across the 40. And that'll bring up 4th down, and the Spuds will have a big field to kick into if that's what they decide.
Yep. And that was a nice play call. You know, when they put him in motion like that took the safety over, tried to run the middle screen, and which was a nice job, but the darn linebacker didn't bite on it and came up and stopped him short.
The snap is back for the punt and the kick away. Bouncing, and it takes a Spud bounce inside the 20 and then down there. So the Spuds catch up to it in a play, and nice hustle upfield. Jonathan Horan was there. The sophomore was able to catch up and keep the ball from rolling backward. Horan spotting it down at the 19-yard line, and it's 1st down, Bemidji. So as we exchange possessions here, Moorhead retains the 1-point lead.
Yep, and they gained some field position with the punt, which isn't too bad. And I like how the punt was. They've only got one person back, so I think he's intentionally trying to punt away from him. It wasn't a great punt, but it sure got a nice roll.
14-13. Moorhead by 1. Bemidji 1st down at their own 20-yard line. Here's the pitch out to the short side of the field, and Ethan Bean was caught behind the line of scrimmage and short tackle down. Adu making the stop, coming in from his defensive end position, and he got some help from A.B. Jala.
That's nice. They tried to run 9 option that time, faked it to the fullback, and the dude did a great job, Larry, of feathering that out. And then when he pitched it, he was able to stop him for little or no gain, but nice job of what they call hang and run. He hangs with the quarterback, then runs to the pitch, and he did a great job that time.
Inside of 5 minutes to play in the half. 14-13 Moorhead. Bemidji trying to work out of a hole. Wide receiver in motion far side. Then the play comes back. And Neto, a quarterback on the keeper, worked his way up across the 25-yard line. And from there, Bemidji will face third down on about 4.
Yep. And good job by the quarterback time again. Reading Linnaeus Davis, who was the dive key that time, and Linnaeus did what he was supposed to. He tackled the fullback, he pulled the ball, and then there's a natural gap there, and if the linebacker doesn't get across to fill that gap, he's got a natural running lane there, and he found it that time.
Big play, another big third down play for Bemidji. Wide receiver right, wide receiver left, back to pass. Neto floats one out on the near side, and the Spuds get there in time. Beautifully defended. Oliver Judd was right there, and he knocked it away, incomplete.
Nice job. Tried to run a little 5-yard out that time. That's what they needed for the first down. Oliver read that perfectly and then did the right thing. Made sure he kept his outside arm free and knocked it down with his inside arm. Great play, Oliver.
4 minutes now showing in the half, and Moorhead seemingly will get the ball back as Bemidji lines up to punt from their 10-yard line. The play will not go under.
Ran out of time.
It ran out of time, and now the whistles blow. Thiel just was ready to return and then heard the whistles blowing. Too much time was taken. False start is the call.
False start either way.
And with that, they'll try it again.
Yep, moving back 5 more. And the referee, he was trying to blow his whistle, and see it, the whistle fell. He kept reaching for it and finally got to blow the whistle. He goes, and then he did one of these. Threw his arms up and went, I tried.
One of the good ones. And this punt now from the 6. Snap is there, off to catch it, and lines it up. And it takes a true bounce to the 40, and the Spuds will have a little bit of a return and then come to the near side and had it poked away from behind, and he'll lose 6 yards on the play.
No.
That one was destined for excitement, if not anything else, and it turned out to be kind of the other way around, and it'll be first down.
Yeah, and Owen initially did a good job. The ball bounced, gave him a perfect bounce. He started up. He got stopped. He tried to do when he did reverse his field. He just dropped the football and went backwards, and luckily he was the only one who knew where the ball was and fell on it to retain it.
Gavin Quaid and the Spuds are 62 yards away with a 1-point lead. This drive starts with 3:44 remaining. Gavin Quaid, a quick toss this time, and Haugo makes the catch, but he's well covered.
Yeah.
And then had the ball stripped away from behind, but they're going to say no, he was on the ground. The ball was down, much to the chagrin of the staff in the coaching box. But his knee was down when the ball came away. And so that stops play for lost yardage at about the 37-yard line.
Yep, just tried to run that little bubble screen that time, and I tell you, Bemidji defended that very well. The corner got off the block of the other receiver, and then the safety did a nice job of running the alley to actually cause that fumble. That's very well defended.
Make it the 38-yard line at second down and 11. 4 receivers in the formation. Snap is there. Standing tall in the pocket, now running. Gavin Quaid sidesteps one and then lowers his shoulders and goes down at about the 45-yard line. Quaid on that keeper, picking up about 7 yards. Maybe 8, but way back to where he started this drive forward. What do you suppose we find on the field? It's yellow and it's a flag.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a holding call.
As Moorhead has already taken their position, yardage behind where that last snap occurred.
And unfortunately, that's from the spot of the fall, and so it's going to be even farther now.
They'll mark it inside the 24, 23-yard line. It's from there it is second down. They'll replay. But about 20-some-odd yards, 26 yards to go. 26 yards to go. Line to gain is the Moorhead 49-yard line. Roll to the near side, short side of the field. Tucked it in and headed upfield. Got some good yardage after contact, but eventually Carson ran out of room at the short side of the field. And still much yardage short of the original down. And so from there, it's third down and about 16. So I'll give him credit for 10 yards on the play.
Yep, he got some of the real estate back, but now you're going to have a third and long. But again, ran power back that way and did a nice job. Had a nice lane. Unfortunately, when you need 26, 10's not enough.
Clock running, 2:12 to go. Spuds have Drayden Prosby on the far side. Here's the run in that direction. Not much room to turn on there. That brings up fourth down.
Yeah, it's too bad they ran power back the other way that time. And that time when Carson saw that, he turned up and then ran back to the outside, and that just weren't able to get anybody. And that's too bad because, or I'm sorry. No, that was Carson. And they did a nice job of stringing that up, but he still picked up about 4 yards.
From the 37-yard line. Spuds take a timeout. They've got a big play coming with 1:38 to go in the half. It's Moorhead 14, Bemidji 13. Xavier Thomas and the punt team on for the Spuds. A single return set up by Bemidji.
Ooh.
Snap is low and the kick is high and short, but then takes a Spud bounce inside the 40, and it's down at the 39-yard line. And could have been a little bit worse, but the Spuds got the advantage of a friendly roll off a short kick. And so with 1:28 to go, the Lumberjacks down by 1 will start this drive at their own 39.
Yeah, and that one, he caught that on the bounce almost, and that messed up his timing, so he kind of short-legged it a little bit and went outside his foot, but at least it's on the other side of the 50.
You got to know that Ethan Bean is going to factor in somewhere, somehow on this drive to try and regain the lead going into the locker room. We'll see what Peyton Neto has in mind as he stands shotgun formation. And with the blocking back, he goes in pursuit off to the far side, and the catch is made. Aiden Neto. Neto to Neto. And the chain gives, or the execution rather, gives Bemidji a first down at the Moorhead 47.5.
Yep, he ran just a little short rollout from his quarterback spot, and the receiver on that side just ran a nice deep hook, and again, timing was perfect. Moorhead was way off the ball.
From Moorhead territory, Neto is back and looking. He's being chased out of the pocket, now leans back and throws, and waiting to see.
No catch.
No, he was out of bounds, and so the catch is nullified. And that brings up second down. But it stops the clock with 59 seconds remaining.
Yep, but nice job of getting pressure that time from Moorhead. They got pressure from the backside. They couldn't see who it was. And so it made him rush, and the receiver had to come back for the ball. And when he did it, he just threw the ball outside just a little too far.
Second and 10. Second and 10 to Bemidji. Neto A quick visit at the far side with head coach Brian Stoffel. And now up to the line of scrimmage off the far right hash mark. Back to pass and looking, rolling right side and leaning, throwing. He's got his man open. Aiden Neto again, second reception, or second time they've gone to him, first reception.
And again, just that short rollout that is kind of like a just trying to get outside the tackle box a little bit, gives his receiver enough time. Receiver ran about a 9-yard route, and that's exactly what they got. They got 9 yards and got out of bounds.
And 3rd and 1. So most certainly getting 2 downs yet here before the end of the half for sure, with 55 seconds to go. They can enhance their situation with about a 1.5-yard gain on this play. Back to pass. Neto is forced down.
Elenius.
Big rush by Elenius Davis. Oh, he came crashing through and was untouched. And he blocked his way, bowled his way right onto quarterback Peyton Neto for the stop to bring up 4th down.
Okay. On TV, they'd call that a coverage sack. Moorhead had good coverage that time. He decided he was going to step up, wait to see what his receivers doing. Linnaeus just came on a charge that time. That was a nice job.
The defense or the receivers never really had a chance.
No.
With the rush that Davis put on.
Absolutely.
And so now the Spuds seemingly will be getting the football. Counting down, they're going to let this run down to the 0 mark and take the penalty.
Yep.
Now that's going to enhance, I think, if you want to call it that way, enhance their field position. 5 extra yards will be added on, and a delay of game penalty is called. Both teams have gone to their respective benches here. I don't know that a timeout was taken.
No, they called the 5-yard penalty for, and I don't know if somebody took a timeout or not. But that was definitely.
Bemidji has used 3. And they're set and ready to go.
Yeah.
Moorhead is still at the near sideline, and there's nobody out to return. And now, this is a little bit
weird.
unusual. They're allowing Moorhead to come out and get set in their position. And it was just during a time, it was not a timeout called. It was just in the act of play. Here's a high punt. Fair catch called for and knelt down at the 15-yard line. Spuds have 1 second left before heading into the locker room.
And that's the best punt he could have had.
That was a beauty.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
High, was about 40, 45 yards in the air, and he really got his leg into that one. And also, but Owen did the right thing too. Get the fair catch and see what we can get on with 1 second left.
It'll be down to the knee, I suspect. Bemidji's coverage team is all the way back. They've got coverage way back at the 45-yard line. And they'll take the snap, drop to the knee. And so, a game of football that is a long ways from being decided. We head to the locker room at the half. It's Moorhead 14, Bemidji 13.
Revive Professional Massage Therapy Clinic. Locally owned and operated. Open 7 days a week, day, evening, and same-day appointments available. Couples massages also available. 20 highly trained professional licensed massage therapists on staff. Now with 2 locations, South Fargo and Detroit Lakes. Offering online booking and online gift certificates. www.reviveprofessionalmassage.com.
Natural talent, physical gifts, training advantages. To become a champion, none of that matters. True champions are the ones who are comfortable working harder, staying later, and finding that competitive edge. They are never satisfied simply doing a good job, because those who transform themselves from local talent into local folklore are the ones who continually perform beyond their limits. Bell Bank, proudly supporting champions everywhere.
Most inopportune time and go from having a field that's maybe third and short to all of a sudden you're looking at third and 20, and both teams are guilty of it. And the holding calls, I don't know how many holding calls we've had tonight, but in the last 4 possessions, instead of moving the ball, they've been punting.
As a result of field position, and that is the key factor. And as a result, it's just a 1-point game. And the snap that misfired was short and a little bit off, getting back to the holder.
Yeah.
And that resulted in some mishandling of the snap, and so it did not go. And Bemidji trails by 1.
Yep, and it's actually I made mention. I said, well, this is a typical Moorhead High Bemidji game. It's
well, we've seen some tremendous players and plays on this field over the years.
Yep, and like I said, they're 0-2, but it doesn't matter when you come up here to play Bemidji, and I can guarantee that they had this circled on their calendar.
Well, a good close friend of yours and mine, and athletic director Troy Hendricks, who has announced his retirement from the school system coming at the end of the year. He is also one of those people that enjoys the game between Moorhead and Bemidji. I won't miss it. He just won't miss it.
Yeah, and and it's just kind of funny. Here's how important this game is. He's supposed to be out of town today, and we had a get-together back in August at our old head coach's place, and he said, I looked at the calendar. I'm supposed to be gone. He said, I got to make sure I'm at the Moorhead High game. I said, I'll have to make some changes, he said.
And he did. And so with that, always one of the great leaders of high school athletics in our area for sure, and throughout the state, Troy Hendricks.
Yeah, what he's done with this program and where they've elevated themselves to is that's just a great compliment to him and his coaches and what they've been able to do.
So much so that he was able to clearly hand off the reins to Brian Stoffel rather.
Yep.
And the Lumberjacks, they know how to play the game.
They know how to play the game. They're still running that same offense that they kind of carved out for themselves. It's a little mixture of some of the stuff we ran when Troy was playing for us, and then a little bit of stuff that he dug from us when I was still coaching Moorhead State, and he put all that together, and he's had quarterbacks that can run that, and that's pretty neat.
You look at how the two coaches, and I'm going to include Troy Hendricks in there yet, along with Moorhead's coach Kevin Feeney, they have a lot of similar philosophies on how to handle young men.
Yep, they do, and you know what? That's important, and that is something that Troy brought up when we were having our little get-together. Coach Fortune had mentioned, he says, I don't understand how you cannot go into a situation without a philosophy. And Troy says, not only that, he says, you can't change it either. And he's built on that, and you see what they've built. They've done a nice job with that.
And the philosophy that Troy Hendricks put in place is being retained by Brian Stoffel.
Yep.
And look for continued success in the Bemidji program. Like we're seeing out of Moorhead, they move right along. They just a little bit of a different drummer, but things move right along.
Yep, they come in with a different drummer, but they still got the same majorette.
See, I'm going to go a long time before I figure that one out. We are in Bemidji tonight, and we'll be back with more. We are at the half. It's Moorhead 14 and Bemidji 13.
Pam is a small business owner. She is swamped. Pam knows she needs to advertise but is overwhelmed by all the options. What if there was a way for Pam to have access to a team of media experts? What if this was at no extra cost and didn't require a contract? Meet Avenue Right. Save time, money, and get peace of mind that your advertising dollars are well spent.
We are The Breakdown. For almost 2 decades, we've published the most comprehensive yearbooks on Minnesota high school sports and run the best in-season and off-season events. We cover every corner of the state. We are The Breakdown.
Boss DXT snowplows are tough to beat. Featuring dual trip tech, flared wings, and optional D-force for improved scraping and backdragging performance. Choose from 3 different sizes in steel, stainless steel, and poly. The Boss DXT is built to restore order.
Your home for Boss Snowplows is Bert's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Before I became a real boy, life was easy. I just sat there doing sandwich stuff. But being alive is so hard. So if you don't want to get up to get a sandwich, you shouldn't have to.
Revive Professional Massage Therapy Clinic. Locally owned and operated. Open 7 days a week, day, evening, and same-day appointments available. Couples massages also available. 20 highly trained professional licensed massage therapists on staff. now with 2 locations, South Fargo and Detroit Lakes, offering online booking and online gift certificates. www.reviveprofessionalmassage.com.
Natural talent, physical gifts, training advantages. To become a champion, none of that matters. True champions are the ones who are comfortable working harder, staying later, and finding that competitive edge. They are never satisfied simply doing a good job, because those who transform themselves from local talent into local folklore are the ones who continually perform beyond their limits. Bell Bank, proudly supporting champions everywhere.
Number one priority is for both teams to take a look at, and that is to conquer all those penalty flags that seem to fall.
Absolutely, and you know, you can't get mad at them for playing hard, but you can play smarter than that. The holding calls, my goodness gracious, and that's just a matter of not being in the right spot, and you're almost better off not blocking a person than to hold them. And the referees don't miss many of those.
No, they're right there on the spot to see what's going on. So with that in mind, what are some of the things that both teams are looking to do maybe differently here in the second half?
Well, for Moorhead, it's cut down on penalties, and when they're getting positive yards, they're moving the football. When they get the penalties, they're punting. Bemidji down when it looks like you can get a first down and stuff. But, you know, they've had some really untimely penalties also, and both teams need to clean up the penalty yards.
As far as execution of the play, I don't know that there's a whole lot of things that need to be done differently.
No.
I mean, the passing is the receivers are open, the passes are there, well defended, and so with that, it's a matter of who's going to go. Both teams are coming into tonight's game having suffered similar losses last week.
Yes.
Had the game in hand, had the win, possibly down the stretch, did not.
Yeah. I tell you, whoever controls the line of scrimmage this next half's going to win this ball game. Bemidji will start with the ball, and Moorhead's got to make sure they shut down that option stuff, and I think they want to make them throw if they can.
Putting on pressure, we saw how in a certain situation, that Elenius Davis stands tall.
Oh, he stands tall and he stands strong. When he got that sack, he just basically bull rushed through and then knocked the running back, tried to get a piece of him. He said, nah, I'm going to the quarterback. And that's something that Moorehead's been waiting for now. And here at Game 3, he's getting there. But, you know, in the first ball game, he was getting doubled all day, and which gave room for A.B. Jala to have just a whale of a game. Well, now they're not doing that, but he's still a force to be reckoned with. And now we're seeing how they're playing 4 new outside linebackers, 2 young guys and 2 younger guys than that. And they're starting to do okay, but they're still rotating those guys in there, and they still got to do a better job of containment and turning the ball back inside when that option stuff gets outside.
I know this is just the 3rd game of the season, but it's already 1 game away from the halfway mark.
I know.
And you start to wonder, who can we play in on such short notice? Well, you don't realize that it is not short notice. It's of urgency now. And learn the game and learn to play.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you need to play. You need to grow up in a hurry, and after one ball game, you're not a rookie anymore. You need to learn how to play.
See what the Spuds have in mind as they come rolling onto the field for the kickoff. They will kick it right to left to start this third quarter with a 14-13 advantage. The Spuds opened up the scoring, capping off an 88-yard drive with a 1-yard run from Ben Herliska. Revis Kakas added the extra point. It was 7-0. And on the next possession, Bemidji capped off their drive with a 26-yard run from Ethan Bean. Game was tied at 7. In the second quarter, Ben Herliska put the Spuds back on top at 14-7. And then a 62-yard run by Quentin Young of Bemidji. And the point after attempt was dropped. And so no good on that. And it's a 1-point game. 14-13 is the count. Bemidji will get the football to start play here in the third quarter. And if you're familiar with the stadium here at Bemidji, we are kicking towards the lake as we stand and look down on the play here tonight. As we get ready, Moorhead has approached, and the kick is away.
Nice kick.
Revar's kick is all the way down to the 5, 10, 15, and 20.
Whoa.
And then a big collision, and down it goes. At the 25, maybe let's make that the 26-yard line. And that's where play starts now for the Lumberjacks.
Boy, that was a nice kick. He kicked it pretty high, and they tried to set up a wall on Moorhead's left side, and Moorhead did a nice job of not letting that happen. And James Sellew did a nice job of knifing in and making a big hit, and then 3 or 4 other guys stopped, but he stopped him right at his tracks on the 25.
Middle part of this schedule finds Moorhead returning home next Friday night to take on Alexandria. Meanwhile, Bemidji will be on the road, and they will travel to Brainerd. Here's the play, and on the run, it is caught and stopped. Nice power run straight forward. And I think that was Seth Newby.
Yep.
Yes, Seth Newby on the carry, and right there, Elenius Davis was in on the stop. He had some help. The linebacking core came in to help out.
Yep, and that time they ran the fullback that time. They ran a little cut play where he starts on their left and cut it back to the right. And nice job by Linus. They ran in him, and then Ben Herliska's playing that inside linebacker spot now, and he did a nice job of filling that gap also to stop him for a short gain.
Cade Allmendinger is in the lineup as one linebacker as the Spuds show 4 down, 4 behind. Here's the play to the left side. And the ball comes loose. Scramble for it. Spuds indicate they've got it. And as we take a look down on the field, the ball has been turned over and on downs. The fumble there is picked up by the Spuds, and it's first down, Moorhead.
Yep, tried to run the same play the other way where it's a little cut play, and he started to cut back. Linus Davis came down and made first hit. I think he also recovered the fumble there, but it's an instance where the fullback was cutting it back at the same time that the quarterback was went in, and that caused the ball to go on the ground. And nice job, nice heads up. Great sudden change play for the Spuds.
They get the football deep in Bemidji territory. It is first down at the Lumberjack 32-yard line. Just underway third quarter. Moorhead now has a chance to improve on a 1-point lead. Down the line, here's the handoff. Nothing open right, goes left. It is Carson Went. Tiptoeing and moving his way. He shakes his way loose all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
Nice job, ran power to the left side, and Chase Frattel was the lead guard, came around, did the same thing. He let the linebacker go because the linebacker ducked back inside, and he got a nice block on the safety, and wow, did that leave a nice running lane to get them inside the 15.
So the Spuds threaten here on their first drive, and it's coming off a fumble recovery. Wide receiver right, man in motion, 3 receivers now set up near side. Here's the call. Good block on the near side and tucking underneath, and a big hit as the play was running towards the sideline and out of bounds. But the play stopped there, and it is second down.
Did it again. They ran power back to that side, sealed it off, and how about the block on Michael Hago downfield, Larry? He got the corner and turned that corner inside so that he could bounce back outside. When the safety came over him, he laid a lick on that safety.
DJ Smith goes wide out far side. He had 2 receptions in the first half. Michael Hago on the near side. And Javid Carlson becomes the tight end on the near side to lead the blocking. Carson Went works his way down close and in for the touchdown.
Wow.
Carson Went just would not be denied. He put on every kind of move to get loose and get in.
Again, ran power back to their left side, and he got outside in a hurry. And then when he saw the end zone, he put his pad level down and rocked that safety that was trying to tackle him. And what a nice way of that was a nice sudden change for the Spuds, and they scored on it, capitalized it right away.
Thieljuice ready to hold. Snap is back and put in place. It was a bit mishandled, but he was able to get it in and upright, and the kick is on its way. Rivarkakis makes it good, and with 10:26 to go in the third quarter, it's now Moorhead 21 and Bemidji 13. Kakis kick off to the 5-yard line. Nice return as the play develops out across the 20 to the 25 and 27-yard line, where the Lumberjacks will try it again after losing the ball just a moment ago, only to see the Spuds make a fumble recovery, cap off a 32-yard drive with a 6-yard run from Carson Went. And we've got an injury to one of the Spud players who is on his knees and bending forward out on the turf. And the Spuds with that touchdown now lead at 21-13. That was a huge momentum change we expect here so far.
Yeah, it really was. Have a fumble, jump on it, get a sudden change like that, and then capitalize in basically 4 plays and went about 32 yards. That's a nice way to answer it when you get a sudden change and recover a fumble like that. Nice job by the Spuds offense.
Moorhead's Max Stenjum being helped up. And initially he kind of put his arm down in support of his right ankle, but as he's walking off, that doesn't really seem to be a drastic issue, although it might be a little bit of a nag and a little bit of nagging injury there for Max Stenjum, who's at sideline now, and he'll be tended to, and he's stretching things out. I expect him back.
There you go, Linnaeus.
There it is. Once again, big quarterback sack for Linnaeus
No,
Davis.
it's not Linnaeus. I'm sorry.
That was A.B.
Jala. Jala.
He wants to be a Linnaeus Davis. A.B. Jala, the two monsters in the middle, capitalizing in the first half with a sack. Now Jala with the sack, and it's second down.
Yeah, he just unloaded that time. They tried to run that little inside reverse to the
he seemed
right
somewhat
slot.
excited about the play.
Just a little, it was almost a sack dance, but I tell you what, he just came inside of the guard and wrapped him almost as the back got the ball, Larry.
2nd and 15 now for the Lumberjacks. Wide receiver left and to the right side, and it's kept. Here's quarterback Peyton Neto up across the 30, and Neto to about the 31-yard line, picks up 8 yards.
Yeah, he did a nice job of getting some of that back, didn't he? And then some. Again, just running, faking the dive, and pulling it, and then following the back right up the hole. And he runs real hard. He's not a real big kid, but he runs hard and gets extra yards also.
3rd and 6 coming up. The Lumberjacks taking their time getting into the huddle. They still have time to put the ball up to the line of scrimmage and run their play with play clock now at 9. Wide receivers left and right.
Timeout.
And
Bemidji.
before this play gets underway, Bemidji forced to take a timeout. Some unnecessary questions, I think, were being asked, and so they'll try to answer those questions at the sideline. As play will continue when we return from Bemidji in the third quarter. It's Moorhead 21, Lumberjacks 13.
Pam is a small business owner. She is swamped. Pam knows she needs to advertise but is overwhelmed by all the options. What if there was a way for Pam to have access to a team of media experts? What if this was at no extra cost and didn't require a contract? Meet Avenue Right. Save time, money, and get peace of mind that your advertising dollars are well spent.
Young was in stride heading upfield on a third down play, a very crucial third down play for the Lumberjacks, but the pass just thrown wide and could not catch up to it, and that brings up fourth down.
And Moorhead also got good pressure on him. He couldn't get the moxie on the ball he wanted to because he had somebody right in his face that time.
Theelges is back in punt return as he stands near the 32-yard line. Lumberjacks ready to kick it away. Snap is back, and the approach and the kick, a driving kick, all the way back. Theelges playing it at the 22. Dancing and looking for room to the near side. Going to run out of room to the near side. And again, he shows his persistence as he goes to the 31-yard line before upended and brought down.
Yeah, that was a nice driving punt, so they weren't able to set up a very good wall, and he just made about a 4-yard run look really exciting because he made people miss and broke a couple tackles. When the whistle was blowing, he still didn't go down.
After taking advantage of a Bemidji turnover, the Spuds now lead it by 8. It's 21-13. And we'll take this drive to the 30-yard line and head upfield with 8.5 minutes to go. Wide receiver right, two receivers near side, man in motion. And with everybody set, the play comes near side.
Nope.
Oh, that plugged up in a hurry, and it was brought down. Bemidji's defense shed the blockers and got it turned around, and Seth Newby from his outside linebacker spot stood tall in the middle of all of that and was responsible for making the play. Seth Newby.
Yep, they tried to run power back that side again. That time he just sat and read that really well, and when the guard didn't block him, he stepped out and turned that play back in, and basically they might have lost a yard.
Second down and 11. Line to gain the 40-yard line. Clock running, 8 minutes to go. Third quarter. Moorhead now leading at 21-13. They head upfield right to left. Snap is back. Gavin Quaid rolling right side and looking. He stops, he throws, he wants to go deep. He's got his man. He came back on it, and the play is complete. Michael Haugo was there. He made the catch at the 35-yard line. Michael Haugo came back on the play to get in position. Gavin Quaid saw the opening, and he threw a strike.
Yep, he did, and a nice job, too. You know, he ran that time they actually ran boot back to the right. Michael initially was on a seam route or hash mark route, and he turned it into a deep post, and then actually came back a little bit so that he could make that catch. But nice job of finding him and making a catch.
Yeah, and he continued on upfield. I don't know that Gavin Quaid could have thrown it that far.
I don't think he could either.
On the ground for Carson Wendt as he struggles off the left side and picks up about 5 yards and goes down at the 20-yard line. Gansky coming up from his safety position to make the stop, and it is second down.
I tell you, they keep running that power back to the left side. You know, they do that trade and bring the slot over. The tight end blocks down, and they're liking that play. They've run that about 9 times to the left.
Formation strong to the near left side. And again, the play strung out and out of bounds. Facing a second down play, picking up 2 yards. It'll be third down and still about a yard going.
Yep, and again, running power back to the left. That time they had trips out there, and they sealed it down. He tried to get outside, and if he'd have stuck it back inside when the guard did it, he might have get a few more. But you know what? With his speed, he's fine.
Finally settling it down at the 29-yard line. Gavin Quaid Down the line, first man in. Nice hole opens up. Ben Erliska works his way near the 26-yard line and looks to be enough for the first down. Let's wait to see how they mark it. And the chains now have been picked up and are moving forward. It's first down, Moorhead, just outside the 25-yard line.
And guess what they ran? Power to the left again. That time when the guard went outside and Lishka says, I see the first down marker, and he just bowled his way for the first down.
So the Spuds having some success tonight with the run and an occasional pass thrown in. Now settling at the Bemidji, inside Bemidji territory, and it comes back to the near side, and he's to the near side and running. Ben Erliska is all the way down inside the 5-yard line before running out of room in the corner.
That time that was a little bit different. That time they ran inside zone, and he tucked it up, and then just when it looked like they were going to tackle, he bounced it outside, and again got a nice block from Michael Hago downfield to get him down to about, what, the 2, Larry?
It is at the 2-yard line where Moorhead faces first and goal. Snap is back for Quaid, and they'll keep it on the ground. I did not see the official call. There it is. It took a while to make sure who had the ball and where it was, and the Spuds have scored, and they've turned this one upside down.
And that was Carson on the carry.
Carson went on the carry for Moorhead, scoring with 6 minutes to go in the third.
And just ran the wham play to the left side. Moore did a nice job of getting some pushback, and I like what Carson did there. Even with his speed, he said, I see a seam there. He put his head down and just kept his legs churning, and it was able to find a way to get in the end zone.
He's developed into a very elusive running back.
Yes, he has, and his speed is phenomenal.
Lining up for the point after. Revar Kakas approaches on its way up. He just did get it away,
Yes,
and it's
he
good. He's perfect tonight. He's 4 for 4 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's now Moorhead 28 and Bemidji 13.
Nice drive.
We are The Breakdown. For almost 2 decades, we've published the most comprehensive yearbooks on Minnesota high school sports and run the best in-season and off-season events. We cover every corner of the state. We are The Breakdown.
Boss DXT snowplows are tough to beat. Featuring dual trip tech, flared wings, and optional D-force for improved scraping and backdragging performance. Choose from 3 different sizes in steel, stainless steel, and poly. The Boss DXT is built to restore order.
Your home for Boss Snowplows is Bert's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
There we go.
Ready to put the ball in play. Spuds to kick off after scoring on a 2-yard run by Ben Erliska. Here's the approach now, and Kakas' kick is inside the 10. Return to the 15, the 20. Nothing open up the middle. Comes to the near sideline, and a big hit put on right at the sideline. Oh, that was dangerously close. But the Spud players like it because it was a big and definite hit.
Yeah.
Bemidji's looking at maybe a penalty flag on the play, and as it is, it'll be first down for the Lumberjacks.
And they're not going to get it, and he's getting hit harder by his players mobbing him than the actual hit, but he did a nice job. Obviously, the official said he was in bounds and did a nice job of running him out there, and Eldon Belgardi is one who's going to get credit for that. That was a nice hit. He did a nice job of coming across and stopping it because he had gotten outside to contain that time.
So the Lumberjacks head off left side, and the Spud defensive front line right there. Stop is made. Rolling off the top of it was Rain Battle. And there were about 3 others that got involved in it as well, not the least of which is Alinius Davis.
Yeah, Linus was there at the end. He came all the way across. He ran inside zone to the left, and again, Larry A.B. Jala stood his ground and forced that ball back inside, and that way the linebackers were able to clean up also.
So the Lumberjacks facing second down and 6. Line to gain the 43. And the handoff left side. Reese Mosted on the carry up across the 40, short of the first down, and it's third down.
Again, just running the fullback on that inside zone play or veer, however you want to call it. And he's just putting his head down when he gets the ball and getting as many yards as he can, and he's dragging people with him because he got hit right in the backfield. Somehow he picked up 3 yards.
Peyton Neto breaking huddle. Sends one receiver wide left side. Mostert is the fullback. Here's the turn and the handoff. Penalty flag forthcoming.
They're going to have somebody in the neutral zone there. Yeah.
Offside is the call against Moorhead.
Somebody from Moorhead was lined up offside.
That's a 5-yard penalty, and that's enough to give Bemidji a first down. So the Chains move on.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's just a case where somebody wasn't looking at their alignment when they're lined up, and the official was looking at Linnea, said, "Yes, son, you were just a little too far forward," he said.
And what would you say if Linnea said, "No, I wasn't"?
Yes, you were. But I'd be backing up.
There was a time when you might have been able to outrun him, but
no.
Not today.
No, I can't even outwalk him.
First down as the Lumberjacks come up now to the 46-yard line. Down the line.
Yeah.
And then the pull away and the pitch back continues on. I was looking up on quarterback Peyton Neto, but it was off the other way. And Quentin Young got the pitch on the run and a first down.
Yep, that time they went the dive. They took care of dive. He took it out to the pitch key. The pitch key stepped up. He went out there, and they did a nice job out on the perimeter of giving him extra yards because they had everybody tied up offside. And Max Stenjum had to come from the other safety spot to make the tackle.
28-13, Moorhead with the lead. Bemidji with the ball, now resting at the Spuds 40-yard line. Out of the huddle, wide receiver, far left side. Jack McCready. Here's the pitch for Ethan Bean.
Wow.
Bean got to the edge and then stepped out of bounds, and a big hit there stops the play. It'll bring up second down.
And that time they went to the quick pitch to the outside, and I'll tell you what, from his linebacker spot, Owen Field just got across and just rocked him out of bounds. That was a big hit, Larry. And it's like he was zoned in on that back after the toss. Nicely done.
3:36 now showing. Both teams trying to work their way back from a tough loss a week ago. Losing in the last moments of the fourth quarter.
There you go, Linnaeus.
Davis responding to that last play that had a 5-yard penalty attached to it. Now comes up with the stop at the 30-yard line outside the 30. Most of it on the carry. And it brings up third down.
That's a nice job. They ran dive away from him. He actually came straight down the line of scrimmage, Larry, and made that tackle for short gain. And that's just a nice football play by him because he had to come across the center's face to make that tackle. That's a nice play.
About a yard, maybe less than a yard needed by the Lumberjacks to keep this drive going. And I suspect at this point in the field it's 4-down territory. There's first down. And he's still on his feet and running inside the 25-yard line before caught and dropped down. Quarterback Peyton Neto. There was a swarm of defenders to the play after it appeared to be stopped. And he continued on, Neto. And the Spuds responded with about 4 different players capitalizing on the opportunity for a stop. But by that time, first down had been made and the chains have moved. And now from the Moorhead 23-yard line, Lumberjacks needing 2 scores to get back in with 2:37 to go.
And that was a nice job by Neto, too. Again, faked the dive and then went right behind the back and found a seam. And he runs hard for a kid. He only weighs about 180 pounds.
Aiden Neto wide near side. They'll keep it on the ground, and they keep it on the ground, and they keep it in the end zone. A 23-yard run. Oh, he broke loose at the line of scrimmage. Reese Mostert, who had not been used to carry the football very often early on, has been called upon here in the third quarter.
Yep, and nice job. And again, they just ran the dive that time, and nobody tackled the dive back. And then he found a seam, and how about he showed real good
Great
speed also.
Great
nice
speed.
He got in the open, said, "I'm scoring on this one." Moorhead had a couple defenders that had a shot at him, but they were chasing. And that's a great play by Bemidji, and nice job of running by him. They got to go for two.
Yeah, needing a 2-point conversion to keep track. Here's the play. Here's the pitch. No, and it won't go. Quentin Young finally is wrapped up and brought down. Again, there were about 3 different Spud players, and leading the way, A.B. Jala. But with that, it stays a 9-point game. With 2:20 to play now in the third quarter, it's Moorhead 28 and Bemidji 19. As the Lumberjacks line up for the kickoff, getting those extra points to add up have been difficult so far for the Lumberjacks, missing twice. And so it's a 9-point game. That means it's still a 2-score game. Here's a bounce and picked up at the 20.
There you go.
Up across the 30, and that'll do it.
Good job, Michael.
Michael Haugo on the return to the 32-yard line. 28-19 now the score. Bemidji score from Reese Mostad, but the point after was no good, and it came at the 2:20 mark here in the third. 28-19 is the count as the Spuds have Ben Herliska rambling on to play at their own 34-yard line.
Yep, and now Moorhead really needs to do the same thing. Just keep pressure on and keep getting a good drive going here.
Might mention that Max Stensham was involved on the last play defensively for the Spuds, and he's been able to shake off his earlier injury. Play to the near side. Ben Herliska has run to the near sideline and out.
Boy, I tell you what, Larry, they ran power again, and Chase Patel from his guard spot has been getting a workout, getting out and around on the corner. And real nice job the time by Michael Hago, and Owen Thiel just blocking on the perimeter. I mean, that's a nice 8-yard gain on a running play.
Spuds at their own 41-yard line, second down and about 3. To the near side.
Nope.
And the cut back on the play came up short. Well defended by the Lumberjacks as the play comes in from Spencer Ness, who shouldered it in, led him up perfectly, dropped him down perfectly, no gain on the play, and it's third down.
Yeah, and again, trying to run that power back to left, only that time a little bit different because he had 3 receivers outside. They tried to seal that, and nice job by their backside backer coming across and making that for maybe a yard gain.
Line to gain the 44-yard line. Again, they switch. Javid Carlson comes in motion, sets up on the near side, nearly catching Bemidji offside, but the play will continue. Hand off, and the Bemidji Lumberjack defense gets through. Oh, my. And once again, it is Spencer Ness who led the way into the backfield to make the stop.
Yeah, that time they actually came with a blitz that time, and Moore changed it up, tried to go to the run inside that time, and they actually had the backside linebacker on a B-gap blitz on the strong side. Moorhead has been running to their left, and so that's where he blitzed, and they didn't have anybody to block him because they didn't have enough people to block him.
Brings up fourth down, and the Spuds appear to try and pick up the first down.
Wow.
They make their adjustments once again, and the snap is there. The handoff on the near side.
Oh,
and
wow.
he cuts inside the would-be tackle to pick up a first down. A very elusive play by Carson Wendt as he tucked away from the would-be tackle.
Isn't that something? They ran the power again, brought him around, and the linebacker saw it, and he just did a little dipsy-doodle on him, made him miss.
And that play brings us to the end of the third quarter, and as the 4 fingers go up to start play in the fourth, we will return From Bemidji, it's Moorhead 28, Lumberjacks 19.
Before I became a real boy, life was easy. I just sat there doing sandwich stuff. But being alive is so hard. So if you don't want to get up to get a sandwich, you shouldn't have to.
You know, with all of the different formations we see out of the passing game at the high school and college level, referred to as the spread formation, and it has escaped the run game, it seems, but tonight we're watching a rebirth of the run game. Spud's been very effective with it. I only have 4 receptions caught by Spud receivers tonight. I'm going to be off a little bit on that. Michael Hago, DJ Smith, Owen Thielges have been involved in receptions.
Yep.
So it's now 2nd down and 8. And again on the run. Across midfield into about the 48-yard line. This has become a smash-mouth football game.
It really has. And that time they ran, instead of running power, they ran straight up. They got on the wham play that time. And I'll tell you what, Moorhead's Austin Schultz was still blocking his guy downfield after the whistle blew. He blew that guy off the line about 5 yards. Wow, that was just a big man coming off the ball.
The Bemidji faithful on the other side of the field, inspiring their defensive unit right in front of them as play will get underway early here in the 4th.
What the heck?
Moorhead is taking this one all the way down, and apparently we'll have to use a timeout. So that stops play, and we will return once again to Bemidji. Just underway in the 4th quarter. It's Moorhead 28, Bemidji 19. The Spuds are back on the field, and Kevin Feeney is signaling one of his players to stay in the position he was, and DJ Smith, who had come in motion, wanted to reset over here, told to go back to the other side, and that opens things up for Gavin Quaid to the near side. He's got Michael Hago, and just as he was ready to pull it in, there's the penalty flag that will stop. Will Zellman came all the way across and was right there, got in front of Michael Hago, and that will result in a stop in play.
That's pretty fortunate for the Spuds because the ball was underthrown a little bit, and he had him beat, but they just didn't quite get enough on it, and the Spuds have somebody down right now.
Gavin Quaid, the Moorhead quarterback, took a hit after he had delivered. We got an interference on Bemidji, which we expected, and the Spuds will get a first down.
And I got to give Michael Hago a little credit on it because the ball's underthrown, and he was just planting ready and was trying to go up like he's going to catch the ball at his highest point. And the defensive back, who's a little bit shorter, him grabbed him around the waist. So, I mean, it's much to Bemidji's fans' chagrin. And I'm one of the people that really dislikes the defensive interference calls. That one was.
Jaden Griffin, for now, has walked on and will be the quarterback for the Spuds as Gavin Quaid took a pretty good hit after delivering that long pass. And so he was guided towards the sideline. The Spuds having a long ways to go out of their huddle all the way up to the line of scrimmage as they have spotted the chain marker now from the 34-yard line. Out to the far side, and Herliska works his way near the 30. So about a 3-yard gain there before the stop is made as Jaden Griffin gets his first snap of the year.
Yep, did a good job, and it's nice to see Gavin's right back in. Hopefully it was just his wind. But
well, they had to. If he came out, they had to get a new player in for at least one.
Yep, absolutely. So
and with that, it'll be 2nd down and 6 yards now for the Spuds' first down. We're just underway in the 4th. Moorhead leading at 28-19. And with a 2nd down play in Bemidji territory. Here's the snap back. Gavin Quaid on the handoff. And the Spud ball carriers are reading the blocking well tonight as they move the ball up and down the field.
And just ran wham back to left. Ben Herliska was the lone back there. And they got good pushback. He started outside a little bit and then found the seam back inside for the first down. Good job up front by the left side of this Spuds offense, Larry.
4th quarter play, 9.5 minutes remaining in tonight's contest. The Spuds breaking huddle bring Michael Hago near side. Here's the snap back, handoff, looking for some room, and down at about the 15-yard line. Let's see who was that.
That was Carson.
It was Carson. Okay, yep. Carson went on the carry. And the Spuds now have 2nd down and about 7. 6.5, 7.
That was an unbelievable read by Carson. He started up right. They ran that wham play over into the 2-hole. He broke that over the 5-hole on the complete left side. Got enough for the first down. But Bemidji kind of over pursued, and somehow he read that and was able to get that all the way back to the left side.
Herliska lines up in the slot, far left side. As Gavin Quaid hands it off. Carson went, works his way to the sideline and out. Michael Hago, who is to set and throw a block on the play, ended up about 8 yards beyond the sideline and out of play.
Yeah, the defensive back kind of threw him off of him, but he was blocking him, so that guy wasn't able to make the tackle. Again, just running that where they pull the onside guard, run that power to the left. And again, Carson did a nice job of reading that and getting nice yards. Heck, he got 8 yards on that, Larry.
I know that in a practice session, coaches teach you as a runner to take the inside block, take the outside block, make your shift this way, make your shift that way. But when it comes down to it, a lot of it has to be plain and simple instinct.
Yep, and good vision, too.
And there's Herliska on his way in for the touchdown, Ben Herliska. Make that a 12-yard touchdown run.
And that time they just ran that inside to the left and the wham play, and there was a seam, and he has this thing that when he sees the end zone, Larry, he gets a little faster and a little stronger, and he got hit at about the 3-yard line, and with his pad level, that guy bounced off, and he bounced in the end zone for a nice touchdown. Great drive.
Kakos is on for the point after. He is a perfect 4 for 4. This one is back and in place, and it is good. He is 5 for 5. And the Spuds have put up another touchdown score with 8:06 to go in the 4th quarter. It's Moorhead 35, Bemidji 19. Moorhead's kickoff bobbled as he tried to scoop it up, and I think he just did get a handle on it before being swarmed on. And with that play, it's first down for the Lumberjacks, and they'll come out. Peyton Neto is at quarterback. Lumberjacks have had some success offensively, but not a consistent effort throughout from beginning to end and to this point. And primarily it's because of the Spud defense and opportunities that have been presented that the Spuds have been able to take advantage of.
Yeah, and they've come up with some big plays on defense. They really have at the opportune time.
Moorhead's front four digging in. Here's the play off to Jack McCready. And the play comes on the sweep to about the 35-yard line.
Yep.
And another penalty flag has been dropped way across the far side of the field near what would be the line of scrimmage.
I think they're going to get a face mask call on Moorhead. He was the quarterback on the keeper after the dive play, and he was trying to make it. When he spun, somebody grabbed his face mask.
Yeah, Moorhead players that are recognizing the play have already made their march backward.
Yeah,
so
just a 5-yard variety.
He call, yeah, inadvertent.
Yep, absolutely.
But at the 40-yard line, it is a first down. Bemidji working out of their own end of the field with 7:50 remaining in the fourth. Moorhead has taken a 14-13 lead to a 35-19 lead. And the play to the far side on the reverse. And that has been a problem for the Spud defense so far, to recognize when that play is coming in their direction. We did see a 62-yard run earlier in the game, and Solom on that one picked up good yardage, about 5 yards on the play, and it's second down.
Yeah, and it hits so quick because it's the left slot going to the right. They fake the dive to the fullback there, and then do an inside handoff to that back, and he's around the corner before anybody can see him.
Bemidji needs to reach midfield for a new set of downs. Here's the play. Back to pass. Neto scrambling, being chased and dragged down from behind.
Good job.
Big play for the Spuds defense to put a stop on it as Rain Battle comes up with the tackle, and it is third down.
Nice job. Good coverage downfield. All they had was two deep posts. Moorhead had not only they had their safeties back, so good coverage. He had to scramble a little bit. Nice job by Battle from his linebacker spot. Kept him in front. And then when he decided to run, came up and he made a nice tackle, too.
One of those players that were inserted into the lineup for tonight's game, Rain Battle, along with Cade Allmendinger. And so far, what they have done has been proven good.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job of turning stuff inside from their outside backer spot when they need to.
Down the line, here's Neto's pitch, and he's on his way. My goodness, Ethan Bean. He's on the sideline. He's on his way in for the touchdown. A 54-yard run by Ethan Bean.
They got to go for two again.
54 yards from Ethan Bean.
You know, and it's a nice job by Bemidji, Larry, sticking with what they do best, which is they're running it inside, then run the counter, and then they come out and run the option all the way out to the pitch in that time. And Moorhead was not ready for the pitch. They got good blocking downfield, and then, man, that kid needs to be on Moorhead's 4x100 team.
But you only get 4 on there.
Well, we can make it 5.
Okay.
Got to have a sub.
2-point conversion attempt. But the whistle stops play, and we'll line it up again already.
Timeout, Bemidji.
Peyton Neto and the Lumberjacks. So you're in the locker room here, and you're talking about these game situations, and the Lumberjacks are faced with, again, trying to convert it in a 2-point try. What are some of the things that you're going to insert here to see if you can have better results at the line of scrimmage?
Well, you know, I think the first thing that I look at is that they've stayed with their scheme, and they haven't panicked. And still running the ball and running the inside zone and running the quarterback on the quarterback keeper after that. And then when they get it out to pitch, kind of lulling that defense to sleep where your outside people aren't ready for that. And they can come back and actually do the same thing here. But I don't see them throwing the ball here. I see them doing the same thing, staying with it, what they're doing best. And I wouldn't doubt if they run that quarterback keeper after the dive here.
Some big numbers are going to show up in the box scores tomorrow as you read the papers and hear the story about tonight's game. Quentin Young on a 62-yard play for Bemidji, and at that point, it brought the Lumberjacks within 1.
Yeah.
And now a 54-yard run by Ethan Bean, and a 2-point try coming up now on the point after.
Yep.
Peyton Neto, man in motion. He'll keep it himself and
Pitched
pitch
it.
out.
Perfect.
And he's all alone,
Yep.
walking into the end zone, Ethan Bean. And I guess it's only appropriate that Ethan Bean get
Yep.
the point after.
And
But that makes it an 8-point game, and it's a doable game. It's a
Yep.
one-possession game.
Yep.
6:10 remaining fourth quarter. It's Moorhead 35, Bemidji 27.
Revive Professional Massage Therapy Clinic. Locally owned and operated. Open 7 days a week, day, evening, and same-day appointments available. Couples massages also available. 20 highly trained professional licensed massage therapists on staff. Now with 2 locations, South Fargo and Detroit Lakes. Offering online booking and online gift certificates. www.reviveprofessionalmassage.com.
At the end of the first quarter, this game was tied at 7, and at halftime, Moorhead had a 14-13 lead. Things have changed here in the second half as Moorhead, now leading by 8, will get the football on an end-over-end kick that drives all the way back and over the shoulder catch there by Carson Wendt. Nothing to the near side.
Oh,
There he
wow.
goes to the backside.
Bye.
He's got good speed. He's got a lot of speed. Carson Wendt, 92 yards on the return for the score. A change of direction by Carson Wendt, and then finding a hole, he was on his way.
Wow.
He's fast.
Well, how about that? You know, he outkicked, you know, he had to go way back. There's a darn flag on the ground, unfortunately. But he had to
Well,
go.
that's the second time tonight.
Yeah, that's 2 kickoff returns called back. But he had 4 guys corralled him, and somehow he made a left turn, outran them. And now all of a sudden there's right down the seam he went and outran everybody. Unfortunately, it's going to get called back, which is way too bad.
Regardless of what we are watching right now, it was still fun to watch.
Oh, it was great.
To see the play develop as it did. First, nothing open on the near side, turning, redirecting, going to the backside, getting a block, and off we went.
Yep,
And so they'll replay from here, and they'll mark it off from the spot, apparently.
Yep, about the 48-yard line, it looked like.
And they will mark it down now inside the 40 and put it at the 38-yard line.
That went from being a dagger to, oh, shoot, now we got to get back to work.
Let's mark things down. Spuds are at their own 39-yard line.
Thank you.
Clock will start with 5:54 remaining. It's an 8-point Moorhead advantage as it goes to Ben Herliska.
Wow.
He got stood up and driven down. Now, this last play that scored for Bemidji has certainly inspired the Lumberjacks defense here as they've come up with a big play.
Yeah, they're only a score down now. They were looking like they're kind of dead in the water. Now they're only down a score. And Moorhead came out and ran that same play, ran it to the left, pulled the guard, and that time the defensive lineman got off and turned it back inside, and their outside linebacker on that side, and I couldn't see who it was, did a nice job of standing him up.
Yeah, there seems to be no reason why Moorhead would change gears now on things at time. They want to work with the clock because that's on their side with just a little over 5 minutes remaining.
So maybe they'll run it to the right.
And as they come to the near side, a quick toss. There's a pass complete. Picked up by Carson Wendt.
That's close.
His first reception tonight. And up near the first down marker, let's see where they spot it. Kevin Feeney not too far away to make sure it's properly spotted.
That's first down.
And the chains move on.
Yeah, that time they had Carson lined up in the slot, kind of a wide slot because there were trips that time. He just ran down into the seam, sat down where there was a soft spot, and nice job by Gavin finding him. And of course, you know, he looks like he can break just about anything, and they had to get about 4 people on in the tackle, Larry.
Right at midfield, it's first down, Moorhead. Handoff Ben Herlishka, and he's got some room, and he's got some speed inside the 40, 35, and 30. Ben Herlishka, oh my, he put on a lick, took a lick, and he goes down at the 30-yard line. That is a 20-yard run for Ben Herlishka.
And Drayden Prosby that time, Larry, was lined up in the left slot. He got downfield and just demolished that outside linebacker, and Ben saw it, and that's when he turned on the jets, and then he broke a couple tackles. That was a nice run, a nice job by that young man blocking.
That first down gained keeps the clock running, and more importantly, every down that is converted for the Spuds now enhances their chances for a win at the end of tonight. As Gavin Quaid will hand off. And again, that offensive line is opening holes that people are running through with good speed and good energy, and they pick up yardage. And this time an 8-yard gain will leave the Spuds with a second down. Make it a 9-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 1.
And Ben Herlishka that time just lined up right behind the quarterback, and he just ran the wham play off the left side where it's mano-mano with the up front people. Tight end got on the linebacker. He sees that seam. And that's a nice 9-yard gain, and that clock just keeps running.
Kevin Feeney had a quick visit with Michael Hago. Then as he backed his way towards the sideline, kept an eye on the play clock and on the game clock. And with 3:13 to go, here's the play. Another open off the left side. That Micah Kozad and Austin Schultz and Herlishka comes up with the first down run.
Yep, and again, now they're just coming off. They're laying the ears back and making blocks on the left side. That time on the left side, Jake Erdman did a nice job of getting his guy turned out, and Ben went right behind him. That's a nice job. A good vision by the backs too, Larry.
Just outside the 10-yard line, near the 11 for this play. Moorhead breaks their huddle with 2:46 to go, on the verge of picking up their second win of the season in 3 games played. Bemidji needs a little bit of a turnaround here. There, we got penalties. The right side of Moorhead's offensive line took a step forward, and that false start will replay, and it's 36 to go.
Yeah, right side went on 1, and the left side went on 2 that time. That's too bad. But you know what? That's not a bad deal because the clock's going to start again right away, and they're taking all 25 seconds to get to the line of scrimmage.
That's why we mentioned that Kevin Feeney, he has a more watchful eye right now on the play clock to making sure that they're taking full advantage of the time given. They have enough room, the Spuds have enough room to pick up a first down without scoring. Inside handoff, and from there, Carson went. They tried to keep it. Moorhead tried to keep their blocking, and Bemidji tried to make the tackle out of bounds. Play has stopped. Clock has stopped, I should say. With that play, they did end out of play, and so with 2:09 now showing, the Spuds will face second down and about 12 from the 13-yard line.
And that nice job by Bemidji that time. Moorhead went to the well, went to the left again. Pulled the guard, and that time the linebacker came up underneath and got a hold of him for a shorter gain.
Michael Hago comes wide near side. This second half, I'm going to say that there has been maybe 2 passes thrown. One was called back because of a penalty. And now we've got a timeout taken as time had run out or was about to run out.
Bemidji called a timeout.
And Bemidji got the timeout taken to stop play. And that gives us a chance to remind you that we will be at Jim Goda Stadium 1 week from tonight when Moorhead is ready to take on Alexandria. That's always, talk about key matchups along the way. First it's Brainerd, and then it's Bemidji, and then Alexandria.
Yep. And if
who sets these schedules?
We got to talk to the AD. I don't know about that.
We got to find him. He's down on the field.
And that doesn't get any easier either. And, you know, Moorhead, if they win this one, they got to be licking their chops because they owe Alexandria after last year's.
There's some blood there, isn't there?
There's going to be some bad blood.
Well, I don't know about bad. It was
it was a great game.
Oh, it was tremendous.
It was a tremendous game, but not bad blood. But you know what? I think they're going to want them. And it happened on their field, which doesn't help any either. So they want to make sure that they get their field back.
So with time running along here in the fourth quarter. 2:09 now showing. Moorhead facing a second down play from the 13-yard line. And so the whistle blows and the Spuds realign. Here's the snap back, and the call goes to Herlichka. He dances his way right into a tackle and is brought down just outside the 10-yard line. So a short gain there, and it'll be third down and still about 10 yards needed. And they've got that room. They've got the 1 yard in between at the end of this play to pick up a first down and keep the drive going.
Well, not only that, even if they don't get the first down on third down, they're in four-down territory. They're going to, again, run the clock down as far as it can. Bemidji's only got one timeout left, so it's really a lot of pressure on Bemidji, and he's going to take this thing down as far as he can and either force him to take a timeout or burn one himself and get ready to go, and that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's watching, and he's letting it run, and that means that the Spuds will be credited for taking full advantage of the game clock.
Boy, he took 24.7 seconds that time, I tell you what. But he was standing right next to the official, knowing exactly what he wanted to do. Bemidji is stuck between a rock and a hard place because they only got one timeout left. If they get the ball back, they'd like to have one if they could. But right now the advantage is all Moorhead because they can take their time, and if they don't get it, that may force Bemidji to take a timeout. You know darn well they're just going to run the ball again.
Yeah, the game isn't just what you do between tackles or on the running back. It's game clock management.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's a chess match all the way.
Yeah,
or at least checkers.
So the Spuds into Bemidji rather tonight after a tough loss against Brainerd in their last outing. After starting the season with a very impressive win over St. Cloud Tech. Leading it here by 8, and it's been a struggle to get that with Bemidji, as you might expect. Now, we got to remember, this is Bemidji, and anything can happen.
Absolutely.
I don't care what's on the clock. A minute 21 showing, but there are all kinds of things that can happen.
Well, I can guarantee you, if they don't get the first down here, they're going to take all 25 seconds on the next play, too.
See what the Spuds have in mind here. Maybe an air ball. Here's Gavin Quaid. He'll keep it on the ground with Ben Herlichka, and he's tackled from the side, and he goes down. Nice defensive play to break through the block and bring the play down, and it's fourth down.
Yeah, that time they went a little bit different. They ran an ISO play to the left, and a nice job by, and I can't see who that defense lineman was, but he got off somebody's block and stopped him for a very, very short gain. But again, Moorhead's just going to run this clock down, and
at this point, if they do kind of just let the play go on this fourth down and they are unable to pick up a first down, you've got to remember it's 99 yards the other way.
Yeah, it's a long way. And again, he's going to take it down to, there should be less than 7 seconds left, and that's what he just did, 36 seconds, and 36. He took his last time out.
So once again, the clock management comes into play as the Spuds are visiting. Kevin Feeney taking a look at everybody, making sure everyone knows their assignment.
Yep.
For those of you maybe looking for a college football game tomorrow right here on WDAY, the Cobbers have the week off. It is their bye week in the MIAC after starting the season with wins over Valley City and in their last outing against Presentation. Saturday off, and then the return to Jake Christensen Stadium. And I know that the Cobber student body and all of those interested in Cobber football are anxious for the Cobber football team to return home at Jake Christensen and get a game under
beanies.
I think they did that already. They couldn't wait.
Okay.
35-27 Moorhead. Bemidji rolling back on, defending. It's fourth down. The first down marker, the line to gain, the 1 yard line.
Wow.
And again, the Spuds make their change along the line. Here's Gavin Quaid. With the snap back, he's rolling and looking. He wants to throw. There's a man in the end zone. Did he get underneath it to make the catch? No. It skipped up into his hands. He thought he had it.
Yeah,
but it did, from our vantage point, appear to be a hit in front. And so DJ Smith, who was right there, the pass play was right there, but a bit underthrown, skipped up into his welcoming arms. And so the Lumberjacks do have 32 seconds down by 8.
That's too bad. That he had the right play called. They didn't expect him to do that. Haven't done it. DJ just ran a simple out play. Gavin just ran a little short rollout, something they practice all the time. He just didn't quite get enough mustard on the ball to get it to him.
Conversation at the sideline continuing. I don't think there's anything urgent about it or what, but there seems to be a constant conversation. Kevin Feeney and the official, the line judge.
He's not going to do it.
You got to throw up and you got to throw in a hurry. Catch is made out about the 20-yard line, and you got to know everything is going to go to the sideline.
Everything's going to go to the sideline. Moorhead should have all three of their defenders both deep, and the two deep safeties. Moorhead's in their cover 2 shell still. They need to get them deep and keep them back and keep everything in front of them.
If I read the scoreboard correctly, neither team has a timeout to use.
No, Moorhead just burned their last one.
Yeah. Back to pass and throwing to the sideline. It's here. The catch is made, but he went down. His knee went down on making the catch.
Clock's
and he can't stop
running.
the clock. They're going to have to get up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry and spike it. But you're allowed to give him time, running down now from 12 and now 11. And you have to do it in an orderly fashion.
Yep.
Hey, he's going to run it. He's going to run the play. Rolling right side and looking and throwing. Oh! And it is nearly intercepted. But it was knocked away completely. And Rain Battle was there defending the play to knock it away with 1 second remaining. So time for one more play.
Get everybody back.
And Moorhead's defensive unit has 3 down linemen led by Elenius Davis, Javid Carlson, and Ron Adu. Everybody else is about 15 yards to 30 yards away from the line of scrimmage.
And if they run like a hitch and pitch type thing, let them pitch it and then come up and make the tackle.
Whether that's proper football or not is sure is exciting to watch to see
all the absolutely it is.
All the laterals and pitches and runs and reverses. Here we go. 1 second remaining. In the pocket and looking deep. He wants to throw, and there it is. This one is nearly picked off once again, this time by Michael Hoggle, but he knocks it away, and the Spuds hold on and get the victory. It was a hard-earned battle once again tonight in Bemidji. A recap when we return. Our final score, Moorhead 35, Bemidji 27. It's a very balanced Section 8 football league this year, as the teams will find out from week to week. And with the loss, Bemidji now 0-3, a very good 0-3. They'll take their game to Brainerd next week to take on the Warriors.
That'll be a battle. Holy
I'd say.
Mackerel. And I tell you what, this is a good football team Moorhead just beat. And Moorhead did a nice job in the fourth quarter of when it got timed down where they were only up by 8. Of running as much time off the clock. They got big first downs when they needed it. And I tell you what, even that last drive by Bemidji, that was fun.
Midway through the first quarter, the Spuds took the lead on a Ben Herliska run. Ethan Bean then tied it up for Bemidji by the end of the first quarter. It did. Ben Herliska once again got a second touchdown on the night as the Spuds took the lead 14-7. Quentin Young made a 62-yard run for Bemidji, but the extra point was not good, and it was 14-13 Moorhead at the half. In the second half, Moorhead had a fumble recovery at the 32-yard line, and Carson Wendt went 6 yards for the score. Moorhead led at 21-13. Carson Wentz got a second touchdown in the third quarter at the 6-minute mark, and it was 28-13. But then Bemidji mounted their comeback. Reese Mosted scored, and to pull within 9 at 28-19. And then Ben Herliska with his third touchdown of the night capped off a 66-yard drive. Moorhead looked to have it in hand at 35-19, but 54-yard run by Ethan Bean was our final scoring of the night. And Bemidji at that point pulled within 8, and they were making it interesting down the stretch run. Spuds back at home, Jim Gouda. It's their home opener as they get ready to take on Alexandria on Friday night. Hope that you can be with us for more Spuds football right here on 970 WDAY. For Jake in studio and for Kent McLeod, this is Larry Knutson thanking you, again reminding you, our final score tonight from Bemidji, Moorhead 35,